Hello and welcome to Dell's Gaming. I'm Dell and this is Dell's Astronautics in Kerbal Space Center. And we're continuing on with our mission to get into space and take all those lovely tourists with us. So just as a recap, we have a lot of ferrying to do. We have this, what we're going to look at first, this little, using the Thud liquid engine at the launch site. Testing that, and also possibly the Max decoupler. I want to see if that's even possible. So let's go into here first and we'll see these particular engines, what are their abilities or not. So where's the Thud? Let's find the Thud. So that's the Terrier. So this is the Thud. So it's goes around the external. So we're doing a test to see what we can do. We've got a max thrust of 108, so we could get a reasonable amount of thrust if we use multiple of these engines. If we right click, the ASL is better than the Reliant, so this could be a good initial stage rocket motor I'm thinking of. So we might just give it a quick little test just to see what we get. Give one of our guys a little bit of a test as well. See if we can put it on a stage. The other part was the Max. Now that though I think is a large decoupler from memory. Let's just start getting a command module. You can see how big that is. There's a fair bit of difference in size there, and what you would need to do is you use a adapter, whoops, like that, to put onto the, and then put this onto the top, or wrong way around. Let's start that again. It's best if we start with the command module. So let's start with a command module. Okay, that on there, get rid of that, and then that stack coupler on the bottom. Now, what have we got that fits that? We have this no, that's not. The only problem is I don't think we've got anything that actually fits onto that at the moment. So, yeah, that's just ridiculous. Yeah, so we haven't got anything that fits. We'll have to look at that at a different time. So what we'll do though is we're going to test those, the alternative liquid rockets. We're just going to give a very simple design. Heat shield. We'll put let's see, we don't need some a simple where are we, utilities. Yep, just put a parachute on there. We'll put one of our one of our pilots in here. Who have we got? Well, we don't want the engineer. Who needs a bit of work? Dorla, you need a bit of work, I think. Or no, Valentina. Who's got the best out of you two? Let's put Valentina in. I think Dorla actually might well have a level 1, so let's see if we can get Valentina to have a bit more time out on flight. So okay, that's the basics. Don't need goo, but we will put our Kerbal engineering systems on there. Now the only advantage of the goo is it does stabilize it on re-entry, so we might go for it just to add it in there, and also I'm going to redo that so it's on a mirror. There we go. Right, okay, that's good. Right, so let's try these Thuds. Now we're going to go possibly for a multi-stage and see what Delta V. See if we can use it as an initial staging rocket. So we'll put a small thruster here. Yeah, we're not going to go too high. We're just going to go for a suborbital. This is just to test the system. We'll put an engine in of the. We don't. In fact, thinking about this, I don't want to lose too much. It's a test flight. Let's just put a decoupler in there, one fuel, and then we'll get those Terriers. Where's those? Let's see how big they are. So if we were to go like that, just to get massive initial thrust. What's the worst that can happen, he says, and put some wings on. It's worth a try, just to see what sort of thrust we get out of and acceleration we get out of those rockets. I'm sure Dawler will appreciate our efforts to well, not intentionally kill her, but yeah, do a good job. So let's just give this a quick launch and see what happens, shall we? It's all part, see what test. It's a contract, and interesting to see how powerful these liquid-fueled rockets are. Could be a good alternative way rather than using the fuel boosters. So, full power, and we will see what we get. Not too bad on efficiency so far. We're getting a good, actually very high speed. Not bad at all, actually. That was for such a low what's the right way? A low amount of fuel. We got quite reasonable actually there. I think that was could be good for creating large thrusters. Oh, that seems to be. Are you doing a turnover? Thank you. Didn't need to use stabilisation on that as such. Okay, that's a contract complete. Got us a little reward as well, which is good. Did leave some damage on the from the its landing, but hey ho, can't have everything. Recover the vessel. But yeah, that they gave a very good initial thrust. So yeah, I think they're potentially usable. Yeah, I think that they're definitely potentially usable. No XP gained on that one. No problem. Okay, so that was just a little quick test flight just to get that one out of the way. Now we can see we've got 1, 2, we've got 6, and we could take another item on. So Kerbin, we want you to send us science data from space around Kerbin. Okay, well we're going there anyway to do data, so that would be easy. That's easy money. We might as well take that one. We'll just make sure there's nothing else. There's only another tourist one. So, but this science one, I like the science ones. That's good. That this separator is not a good one for us at this moment. So active, we have touristy. And explore the Mun, which we will be going towards at some point, but not landing initially. But we've got this, and they gave us some money in advance, so I suppose we should do it at some point. Right. Any advantages of upgrading? There is advantages. We can have especially when it comes to going into Mun, we will have to upgrade this facility to the 150, so that we can see the intercepts when going for other planets. So that will be required. Also, it will give us maneuver points, which is also useful when we're starting to have to go to various points and try and get a good orbital trajectory. So we will get that, but we're going to get a few more flights. Let's get a few more of these suborbital and try again to get our good re-entry vector. So okay, we'll ignore this thing. We'll get rid of this one. We'll go back to our app test 4. Now we're gonna change this a little bit. This is now to be called Orbiter 1. Orbital launch. Well, actually, let's call it K2Launch I. and also I might just do this based upon the weight it's having to put into space. So that stage 1 is 7 tons. No, is that 7? No, 1.7. So we're going to call it 2-ton system. Almost lost that. Let's put that. Make sure that goes in correctly. That gives you my Kerbal engineering information. So yeah, this is a 1.7 ton. So for bringing back now. Okay, well I just want to look at something here with these. See if we can put them in a different place that's not going to get affected. So I'm thinking maybe try them there. I'm hoping they won't. Hoping they won't get affected. It's a little dangerous changing this module now. Okay, let's change that in a second. What if we put the goo up there? Because if the goo doesn't work, it's not too big a problem. If the parachutes don't work, we have big problems. Okay, that looks okay. Okay, so we're going to call this the K2Launch the K2. We're going to call this the K2 for 2 ton. So the intention is to launch 2 ton of items into space. So okay, put that there. Now we did have. I want to change the engines. So we're going to change this engine here. Get rid of that and try the one with the gimbal, because we were not getting enough ability to direct our travel on that one. So we're going to get rid of these as well. Now the other thing, we haven't got fuel connects at this time, so we might just try though the different try the thumpers instead from launch. So that's going to give us a significance. That's up to, we're now up to 3,600. So we are actually very close to possibly having an orbital vessel. So these thumpers are going to give us a significant boost in that initial velocity on stage 1. So we're going to mark this down, 3,600, and we're going to see if we get a better control with these the gimbaled swivel. So okay, this is going to be the K2Launch I, obviously version 1. I don't think it's actually going to launch into space this version, which is fine because we do actually want just suborbitals. Now we're going to take someone along. We'll get rid of Bill, who is after a suborbital flight. So suborbital. Okay, Bobblies. Where's Bobbly? Bobbly. You can have a journey. You're going on a trip, Bobbly. Yes, you are. You're going on a journey into space, and you might even return, as long as that parachute works. Otherwise, we could have a problem. I need to check the staging before I go anywhere. Right, so our initial stage, that's wrong. We need that and also those. So all 3 initial staging. Then we have, and also release of the clamps. Okay, then we eject, let's just make sure we got here. We eject the thrusters. Yep, and then we eject the liquid fuel stage with the parachute so that it gets returned, and then we have the final on coming down. Okay, we're going to go for an orbital size. Okay, ready. Are you ready there, Bobbly? Right, we're going to do a initial burn and a turn to the right. So hopefully around 10,000. We'll initially turn it, and we want to keep our trajectory around our apoapsis roughly around the 100 by making sure we turn towards the horizon. So we need to head up. So initially it's going to head up to about 60 and then do a heavy turn. So let's just see how close we get to that. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Right, just a little turn here. Oh yes, I've got a lot more control here. That's a lot better. There's a lot of G's at the front with these new thumpers, but that's fine, that's expected. Our speed is very high, so I'm coming back down on the liquid. Side's gone, going maximum on the liquid. Going over to the 30 degree. Yeah, 40 degree. Trying to follow the retrograde. 50 degree, just a little bit behind retrograde. Right, we want to make sure our apoapsis is still there. We're at 17 degree. We're at 45 degrees at 20,000. That's not too bad. $43,000 on our apoapsis. I need to get that higher. 60,000. Yeah, we're at 60,000. 65. We have an apoapsis of 70,000. Now I'm going to head over this way. 80, 91. 100,000, yes. Okay, that was good. So now we're heading over this way. Little high again. But what's our speed? We got our speed up to 2031. Releasing that section just before we hit space. We were very close to hitting space on that. 2031 with an apoapsis of 183K. So our height was a little high with this still. We were aiming to be closer to 100K and it came to 180. So I need to work on that just to bring that down a little slower, a little faster. We needed to bring down that height to ensure a good burn. That's just getting a little experience. I need to turn quicker, but we should get a good distance on this here. Yeah, I mean that was close to being orbital, very close, very close. So I think we could just with a slight adjustment get this orbital, but we need to sort out all these suborbital flights first with all of our people, I think, in this one, just to get them out of the way. Okay, we'll go back here. We've got to make sure this new design actually does work. So we're in space low. Oh, we can do the experiments. A little bit of science. 5.5, not to say to that, no to that. Goo? Anything for that? Yeah, no real goo. And the temperatures, can I get to the thermometer? Thermometer. Yeah, nothing from that. Okay, we've got no new data, but we've got that information. Got that tourist one complete, and we should. Did we get the okay? Transmit or recover scientific data from space around Kerbin, so we should get that when we land. Okay, let's speed up and get into that position where we are ready for re-entry. On the way down now, onto the dark side. Whoops, there we go. Now let's just check all of our abilities. We have electrical charge, which is good. Keep us pointed basically there. Let's take down there on re-entry. I don't like it going too much. We're naturally orientating correctly, which is good. He's having a nice nighttime burn view. We're getting some temperature on the batteries, but that's fine. don't you? Oh, the battery's blue. Battery's blue. Okay. We will have to redesign the position of them then. That's not good. It was a very fast re-entry we had there, and they just blew a little bit. Okay. Okay. It's a slight change we're going to have to make sure they're out of the airflow for bringing this science unit back in again. Right, we'll just get parachutes out. So I have to think where we can put those batteries. Now, one place we could put the batteries up here on this place here, as long as it doesn't interfere with there, because there didn't seem to be any heat problems on the goo containers, so up here might be a valid place for them. We can then just move the thermometers down a little bit, or the thermometers might even be able to go on the side of the science pod, actually. So I'll have a look at that on the next flight and take this one up one more time, I think. Okay, Bobley, did you enjoy that flight? Yeah, you enjoyed that, didn't you? It's a bit dark as we've landed, but you know, I think it's fine. Right, we've had a good landing. You're alive, which is always a good point, so don't complain too much. Complaints are not going to get you everywhere. So I need to work on my control of this. So we got 6 science, which is something, and we got some refunds for parts, and crew got some XP. That's good for him. We'll get this one as well. That just gave us a little bit of money back, and that gave us a bit of money as well. Okay. Next flight. Let's get another one of these tourists up into space. So whose turn is it going to be this time? Oops, we had 2 completed here. So we did that one and we did the data. So actually before we go, we'll just check, see if there's anything else we can do while we're doing these suborbital flights. The more the merrier to get some money in. Come on. Go into here, into enter. Right, so we've got 6 active. Some I can't get rid of until a little bit later. We've got another suborbital, 2 more suborbitals, so possibly we won't worry about those for the moment. Lots of suborbitals. Okay. And there's that one there, which I'm not interested in. Okay, nothing really worth doing except for these ones when I start doing maybe some of the orbital flights. Oops, I took one there. What should I just take? Okay, I think I took another tourist. Oh well, more tourist. What do we do with the whole? I wonder if there's a way I could theoretically put multiple ships together to do as tourist flights, but hey ho. Right, so we've got to redesign this pod a little bit. Those batteries on the top. So what we're going to try and do is put that over there for the moment. We'll put the temperature gauge. We'll try the temperature gauge down here. Move this down a tad. Does that look in the center? That looks in the center, but it wasn't mirrored. There. And now we're going to try the engineer report. What's the engineer report? Yeah, that's fine. We'll try this battery. Mirrored just there. Yep, electrical charge stored but not generated. That's fine. We might not actually need these batteries actually, but I'm putting them there so that they're ready for testing for future when we are going to need them, so that we can. Now, can I actually put them inside there just out of interest? Let's have a look. Would it allow me to put them inside there? They don't look even, so I don't like putting them there. Let's put them where they were. Yeah, we'll put them where they were. That's fine. They are working there. There are a couple of batteries. And we'll see if they get a problem this time on the re-entry. So that's there. Now, what else would I like to change on this? The engine was a lot better, but I need to improve my control to be able to do this. Now, the only other thing we could do is potentially put some more fuel in this and go up to near the 4,000. No, I want to stay suborbital. I want to get the 100k, try and just stabilize this. I'm not happy that I'm doing it properly. Right, just making sure everything here is correct. Yep. So we've got one more, and we need to take a new suborbital person with us. So who's also not Bobbly? Bobbly's been. Who else is wanting a suborbital? He's done the suborbital. Suborbital on Kerbin. Tanner's. Where's Tanner's? Tanner. Okay, Tanner, you're coming up for the test with our K2 launch. I'm not giving this a new version number because it's only a minor change from what we had. It's not a significant change. So, okay, bits to learn then. It's easier saying, you know, oh, I've got to keep a particular angle, etc. It's easier said than done. Right, first of all, make sure my throttle's up. Check all of the settings. Yes, staging appears to be correct. Right, are you ready, Tanner? And this time we're going to try and do orbital so I can see what the maximum speed is we get on this particular launch, and I must get the AP, try and keep it around that 100k. Just edge it up towards 100k. I don't want to, it went far too high. So, 3, 2, 1, launch. That was not good. My staging was incorrect. That wasted a load of solid fuel propellant on that. Okay, I'm giving it a good turn at the beginning. About 20 degrees, I think that is. I'm trying to find where my slope is, but we're on the number 2, 25 degrees there. Launching that, so it's not going to be good for some reasons. Right, we're going to go for 45 degrees, that's 45 degree line at 10,000 feet. See where we get. We are on maximum. Keep it on the 45. Just at 20,000 feet on apogee, apoapsis. I'm drifting a little bit off. No, okay. Keep it on the 45. 45, 20,000 feet. Okay, I'm not going to change it. We're getting a bit of heat, so I'm bringing the speed down. Whoops. Okay, bringing the speed down because we were starting to get a little too hot. That did lose us a little control. Okay, we're coming up to 60,000, 63, 70,000. Okay, we're at 70,000. Turning further. 80. Letting it turn naturally a little bit more. 100,000. Now going directly for there to try and keep that. Okay. That was a better one. Got a little fast at one point and started to build up some heat on the front, but I didn't see what my maximum speed was there, but I'm sure that was better. We'll have a look on the map what our apoapsis we're going on 100k. So that was a lot better trajectory, I think. Obviously the launch wasn't great on that. That was a very poor launch of the launches that we could possibly done. And we got 2 of those at debris. Can I go to them? It's while we're waiting, I'm going to go back to the Space Center because he's okay in his flight. There's no other settings we need to have while Tanner's having his nice little fly in suborbital flight. So I want to just have a look at whether these parts survived coming down. Now one way to do it is if we go to here, can I go and focus on the debris? There, let's see. If I go double click on it, it should take me to it. I just want to see whether putting a parachute actually allowed those debris to think, oh okay, those debris are fine. Those ones are the ones that can be pulled back. That's fine. Okay, let's go back to the Space Center. See what other debris we have. I'll keep an eye on. We need to keep an eye on Tanner, but yeah, he's flying okay. Tanner's okay. Right. Okay. What else have we got? Landing that time. This one's on a K2Launch I debris. Let's have a look at this one. That's the second one down. See if this gives us the same issue or whether it's the same debris. No? Okay. So there's no other debris, there's just that. Okay. It's worth checking. It's worth checking. I just want to, as I'm trying to work out whether these are pulled back. And nothing says anywhere about that. Okay, so if I just do a recover, that'll just sort them out anyway. Right. So if we go into here, so we've got this one on a suborbital trajectory. So is that the one that I launched behind me? So potentially they're not going to come down into atmosphere. The parachutes are waiting to be deployed, but they're not going to be deployed yet. So let's just see. Yeah, it's just a little bit behind me, so it's going to come down almost the same place as where I am. Actually, which is interesting. But okay, we need to go on to K1 launch now. Let's go to the Space Center. Just trying to think of the best way to go between the different areas. So if we go to the Space Center, and then we go to here, and then we go to a K2 launch. So okay, I'm thinking of a couple of ways now of getting our trajectory correct, rather than trying to do it in one push. We have now the system we've got in place now, it's actually a slightly less system. The previous one with the hammers is enough to effectively get something up to around the 100k apoapsis with a reasonable speed. You know, we were coming in at reasonable speed, and then having potentially an extra stage which just puts us into orbit. Right, we're coming back into the atmosphere now. This is where I need to just adjust myself to go into the proper retrograde. Let's see, don't want to get too much. I'm hoping. Whoa, 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 whoa. Let's stop the rotation first. Right, let's stop that one first. Okay. Right, we've got some rotation. Right, now we've got that. I need to kill off. There we go. Is that better? Is that the direction we're going in? Yep. A little bit further that way. No, too much. Without any stabilisation, this is quite difficult to get because it's There we go. Hopefully that should work. Excellent. Let's just make sure nothing's getting overly warm. Temperature overlay is on. Disable that. Not getting any temperature warnings, which is good. So hopefully those batteries are not going to be affected this time. Yeah, that looks okay. Looks okay. We'll come down to the ground. So yeah, I was saying about the parachutes before I forget. Nearly forgot. That'll give Tanner a bit of a surprise. So our next one is we could look at how we're going to get. Sorry, let's start again. Our current stage is good enough to get this into a high apoapsis where it just needs a minor little extra burn to put it into a stable orbit. So what we might do next is create a new a second stage, or third stage even, for the final burn that actually levels out the orbit before you go, so it changes it from suborbital to orbital. And we're trying just doing that. So all we need is an engine that just gives enough thrust, let's just speed this up, to push us into the next orbit area. So we're going to do a quick test on that, and then we might keep it suborbital though, just as a test. Right, we'll recover. So that's going to mean a little extra weight, especially if we're keeping the science bay. And I want to keep the science bay because when we're going out and about, we don't need to bring science back, even if we go to the Mun. Now, there is a way of doing EVAs and bringing things back into the capsule, so that you've only got to bring the capsule back with you each time, rather than bringing a science bay. But you still got to take the science bay there in the first place, so our basis is still okay. So we're just going to quickly work on this next capsule and thruster system for oops, it hasn't loaded that vehicle in, so we'd go for, where is our K2Launch, load that in. So first of all we're going to do is take this off, because what we need is an extra stage to put this into orbit. So, and it doesn't need much. So we're going to look at a Terrier engine and a small amount of fuel. So let's just see that Terrier engine. That amount of fuel on a Terrier engine, and then a decoupler, and then that on there. So that's given us 3,100. So that's not, we need to possibly increase this fuel capacity just to give that Terrier a nice extra bit of burn. So that's 3,600. So yeah, that's okay, but not brilliant. Now we've got a choice. We either let's just check those engines are the right engines to use. The Terrier has a very good but not very good thrust. Maybe it might be better to use another swivel instead of the Terrier in this case. Oops, let's put that back there. Let's try remove that, put a swivel in there instead, and that's put us up to, no, that's actually lost us again. So the Terrier is the right one, We just need to add a little extra thrust either at the beginning or in this stage. Let's put a little bit more fuel in here. Oops, I need the big container, the big fuel, and we'll, well, that should be actually enough. If I go there, 3,800. That's very close to an orbital unit, very close. If I take the thumpers out, that's actually 3,700. The thumpers don't make that much of a difference actually. They're giving us a little bit of initial thrust, but it's not a lot actually, considering all of their cost. So I'm wondering actually whether a slightly different design might be better, which is a fuel tank there with a Reliant engine on the bottom, which has got very good thrust. 3,700. Okay, now we haven't, there's one thing we haven't got, we can't use the fuel, so this isn't going to be a proper thing. Let's put a little bit more fuel in on these ones here. So, come on. There we go. 4,100. Right, have we got any aerodynamics to put on a nose cone to put on the top of that there? No, aerodynamics. Yeah, we've got an aerodynamic nose cone. And that might just make a difference. Don't know if that does, but it might help. And we could put a, or actually, in fact, rather than that nose cone, what we're going to do is this. We're going to put the parachute on the top of that. Right, we're at 4,099, so 4,100. Burn. Now we have to be careful with the staging on this. Don't know why that parachute's gone down there. So let's make sure we get this right. So let's do that there. We need to get this gantry down into the last stage. Then in this stage here we have these two engines and the center engine going. Right, then the next one we have these two side, and the parachutes to basically bring these ones out. So that should be these two couplers here. No, that doesn't seem to be doing that coupler. Where's that? It's that coupler. Right, that could have been embarrassing. Right, that's the two side couplers. Then it's this coupler. It's let's see, that one, then it's that one, and then we have the small engine fires, but we're going to separate that off so that it doesn't fire straight away. It fires there, and then this one has got parachutes, and the parachute needs to actually deploy at the right point at this one here. Now I don't think this one's going to parachute down, but we'll do it in case we can recover. So let's just see if we got this right. Gantry releases, fires all those 3 rockets. I need to keep an eye on the fuel on those. When they are done, we release them. We need to keep an eye on, then it releases them and deploys their parachutes. It then we do the center stage, which goes and deploys, and then we deploy, release and deploy the parachute up the top here. That's fine. Then find the final stage, which is the burn-in stage. Cool. Okay, so this will be, this is quite a thing. So this is K2Launch II, version 2. There we go. Save this one, and we need a new person. Not Bill. Who else is going for a ride? Who else needs a suborbital? Gemps. Where's Gemp? Gemp. Your turn. Go on, Gemp. You're going for a ride. Right. Right, this will be our last little launch, and hopefully just about orbital. I might pull it short even if we do get, but this is, again, we're going to go for the turn initially, about 10 degrees. That's just final test of all of our settings. Gantry, no, this needs to change. Gantry needs to go at the same time as those engines. That was close. That was almost a destruction. Right, full speed initially. Right, then it's that and those. That's fine. Then that and that. Yeah, fine, fine, fine. Okay, so we're aiming for an apoapsis of about 86k on this initial one, but we may not actually take us orbital, but we're going to see if we can get close to it. Okay, are you ready, Gemph? I love, you're a test pilot and you don't even know it. You think this is a tourist ride. Yeah, fool. 3, 2, 1, go. Slight turn. There we go. Just about 5 degrees on launch. And keep that up to 10k. Liquid fuel on the first 2 engines is going off. Now what you can do is have ones where they drain this into the centre, but we're not doing that. You can see there's a bit of getting a bit fast, so I'm pulling down the throttle. I don't want to go that fast. Right, we're letting gravity just pull us over. We're going to keep it around the 315 metres a second. We don't want to go faster than that. There we go. Flames have disappeared. Our apoapsis, we're good. We're letting gravity just pull us across. We're slightly off on one of the angles, but nothing too much. Our speed is now increasing. Right, we're at 20,000 and we're there, going for a slightly bigger. Right, releasing those, keeping it on about a 45 degree now. After that burn, after that bit, going up to full power, 45 degrees, trying to keep it on the 45 degree line. We're at 60,000. We'll stop at 80,000. There's 80,000. So if we held it there, we could use the rest of this burn to put us orbital. So I'm going to go straight onto the horizon. And now I need to go to the map, but I don't want to actually go orbital, but basically we need to bring this up here. I want to increase our, without increasing the AP too much. Right, I need to go a little bit, oops, that way. Trying to keep it on the AP, so that's 81. Give us a good burn, so we can see how our trajectory is gone. Okay, I think we have run out of fuel. No, we're just way off course. Okay, off with the, off. Whoa. Lost control of it there because I was not looking at it properly. Okay, let's gain control of the vessel. Right, we need to get control of the spin first. Unfortunately, I've got very little control at this time. Okay, we're going down, so I'm going to do an eject on the first stage. Right, that's giving us control again. I'm just going to eject the second stage. So we're ready for burn. Okay, that could have worked. I lost control of it though, which was the problem there. So again, part of the testing. So we've got no stabilisation here. A pilot might have been able to help and stopped with the spinning. But basically we just lost control of that particular one. But we still got, our guy went into a nice suborbital trajectory. But I think that would have, if I'd kept the control, I could have put that in orbit. Just almost. I think we might need just a little bit more power just to get it into a slightly more stable orbit or stable trajectory with a bit of power left. So we'll look into that next time. So this is all part of this testing. This is what I love about this game. It's not that I'm getting it right every single time. It's, you're seeing me go through all of the little testing that you have to do playing this game. Not getting it right every single time. If you, there's loads of people, go and watch Scott Manley if you want to see him getting it right and being perfect and all the rest of it. Not perfect, no, Scott isn't perfect, he's very good, not necessarily perfect. I'll take that one back. But and there's some other people out there where you'll see them do a perfect landing on such places. I don't know how many times they use autosave and how they manage to do it. But you know, I think that possibly is, you know, this is what you've got to do if you're not just reading it from a book. Okay, we're getting a bit of heat on those batteries. Oh, is this the design without the moved batteries? This is, isn't it? I thought I moved those batteries to up to here. I obviously didn't save that on last time. Okay, have to remember to do that. Move batteries. Move batteries. I'm just making a note of that for next time. Right, what's our speed? Speed is low enough. Deploying satellite. Now we don't need all the science on this one because we've done all these trajectories before. So I'll get rid of those thermometers, but it was, yeah. Watch out for your saving then. Too easy to go back and find that you haven't saved your ship. But okay, I like that ship. I think some slight modifications, maybe from some fuel changes, and we'll have a good little system here for getting into orbit. We're very close to having that orbital type of setup. Remember, I've got to remember one thing is we can't use all of our fuel to get into orbit. We always need some fuel to get out of orbit again. So you have to be burned, otherwise you've got that problem like we had previously where we got our guy to orbit and we couldn't get him back out of orbit again because it was almost, and that's why I'm now doing the testing, especially when you've got tourists involved. There's a lot of people here that yeah, they're paying for this, they're expecting this to be a professional service. Yes, well, they're paying for it, that's for certain. Professional, not so sure. Okay, no science gathered on that. We got parts back. I'm not sure if we're getting better or worse with the power. We'll just get those, recover those debris, 2 sets of debris there from the different engines, which is good. Hopefully we got them back. We're up to 37 science, which I don't think is going to give us any more advantage. No. We need some more science, so we're going to have to look at sciencing stuff. What did we get? We got that another suborbital flight, and that one is, oh, yep, done. Okay, more testing done, more people moved around. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Please let me know below in the comments and all the rest of the usual stuff you're asked to do in YouTube and etc. Until next time, have fun.